Hello, Taurus, sun, moon, but especially rising sun. Welcome to November. It is time for some financial momentum and luck and shift in your life. Thank you to the month ahead astrologically, but also some shifts in primary relationships as well. Think of this as a time where your financials get a lot lighter, but your primary love and business partnerships can be under some stress. Now, before we go ahead and talk about this in detail, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothy, and I'm a whole sign Hellenistic astrologer. I'm using the tropical Western zodiac. This is not India or sidereal astrology. Also, if you are going to listen to your all sign forecast, which is this is your sign, always listen for your rising as the most accurate. It's the slice of time that you entered into the earth plane, the horizon line at the time of birth. And of course, your sun can be about your purpose, your career. Sometimes your moon is your feelings. Sun can be about father, moon can be about mother, etc. But listen to all three. If you have like me, a stellium, I have like 4 planets in Aries, including my sun and moon. Even though I'm Aquarius, I listen to both. I listen to the Aries forecast for me. I also listen to or understand the Aquarian import. All right, so we're going to talk about November because it is one big, chunky, action-packed, eclipse-rich sky, and you are getting a lot of intensity. Let's give you a backdrop, especially rising Taurus, for understanding why this is so important to you. There is a current eclipse cycle that's been going on in earnest, all right, in earnest since July of 2022, not ending until July of 23, although there's buffer energies in the late fall of 21 and will be buffer energies in the fall of 23, but the kernel of intensity is January to next July as eclipses go through Taurus. Yeah, and Scorpio across the way. Your sign, very much about you and your life changing, your identity changing shifts. And add to that, because eclipses with the North Node cycle in the house of your identity and your body are changing who you are in the world, how you see yourself, how others see you. Okay, big energies of expansion of self and identity and shifts of identity. I am a blank, fill in the blanks. Those things are changing. But second of all, there was this thing called the big boom. Go check in my playlist for that. End of July, beginning of August, very, very rare event. Haven't seen it in 2,300 years. And that was where not just the North Node and Uranus co-joined in 18 degrees of Taurus, but also Mars joined them. So that triple conjunction was very rare. It's a dynamic and intense changing Mars of your identity. Now, all of that said, the month of November continues that narrative. And I'm going to talk about the money story, of course, because that's a huge amount of momentum shift and luck for you. But let's keep with the identity story first, because I think it's very important. This whole energy around the middle of Taurus has been seasoned in late July and beginning of August. So if your Taurus sun or moon or rising is 10 to 20 of Taurus, you're really, well, let's give it a generous orb of 10 to 23 degrees of Taurus. You're really getting a lot of push, shove, and change energy. And what happens on November the 8th is there will be an eclipse at 15 Taurus. Yes, reinitiating the big boom, activating the square to Saturn in the gnarly Saturn square in Aquarius. And you're probably going, so what does that do? What does that mean? How is that about me? Well, Saturn's been going through the house of your career and reputation in the world for 2.5, 3 years. I mean, in earnest at the end of 2020. It moves Saturn, restriction, constraint, difficulty, leveling up, sober, realistic, hardworking, dutiful, responsible energies in that career and reputation house ever since December of 2020. But there was an early ingress as well in the spring, early summer of 20 as well. So, if you're a student or a housemaker or something like that, and you go, I don't have a career. Well, then you're just working your ass off, becoming that thing, that perfect student or whatever. My daughter has a strong Taurus placement and she's been killing it and working hard, but being a student felt hard. It has felt hard for her, university level. Okay, so the Taurus eclipse is going to occur conjunct Uranus on November the 8th, 2 weeks before and up to 6 months after. This is what you may be experiencing. You may experience a sudden, dramatic, life-changing 180-degree shift of identity. Like seriously, full moon, Taurus eclipse conjunct your sun, moon, or rising, especially rising, or in the place of those things. Oh my gosh, guys, it's huge energy. So this 180-degree shift can happen very unexpectedly, radically, and it may come at the expense of a business relationship or a legal matter or a relationship of commitment. All of those areas, your seventh house is where eclipses are also occurring with the south node of release, surrender, and let go. So I'm just saying there's a lot of turbulence in the marriage part of your sky, and reliable and trustworthy business partnerships may have been wobbly, if that's something you do, or legal matters and contracts and agreements may have been fraught with difficulty. And you may become aware of some of those challenges as early as November of 2021, and more so beginning in January. So I do know a Taurus ascendant person who found out that there was a lot of fraud involved in several legal affairs that he'd been involved in. And it was brought to light by virtue of eclipses in Scorpio, the seventh house. Now, I don't want to make this scary, because if you have a radical up level in your identity, it can be a very good thing. Like, why bite your gnash and bite your teeth about it? It could be exciting, right? Let's think positive. And on the day of the eclipse, Mercury is in the heart of the sun, in the house of your business partners, legal affairs, and significant others. Now, Mercury in the heart of the sun is kind of a blessing. So there could be something actually on the 7th, 8th of November that comes through very positive despite the eclipse regarding your primary love relationship, your business partners, and your legal contracts. So that's a little oasis of Mercury goodness in an otherwise very intense sky. Now, the thing I want to talk about is the money in November. The money is looking really interesting and very good. Mars in your earnings house has been probably having you spend more than you make and make you feel scared about the outflow of the money through that part of your sky since August 20th, as he's been in direct motion through the second. It can be a rapid increase in spending, a need to acquire possessions that cost money, and it's outflow of money. Mars tends to also be good about self-starter and business energy here, but he does like to spend here. So there may have been a lot of money spending or whatever going on since August 20th. And then October 30th, he retrogrades. Okay, that's the opposite of that. He's pulling back from what looks like a lot of outlay financially. And October 30th through to pretty long run, January 12th, he's sort of slowing that down and moving close. He's close to Earth as he retrogrades. You're feeling his power of decision-making, action, momentum in a money house. Now, retrograde can also be about, like, the tide goes in, the tide goes out. He's going back now to pull some money back in as he's been busy pushing money out, right? Spending. So now he's pulling it back in. So there's a definite feeling for a lot of you, Taurus rising, especially, of some money returning to you that that belongs to you, even debts that belong to you. Someone owes you money coming back at you in some way, or you being able to slow down the outlay of spending where, there's more balance, or even more money is coming in. But if it's retrograde, it's coming in from the past as well. So that's why I said someone owes you money, or there's money due, accounts receivable, money's coming back in, but it was already there, but you maybe couldn't receive it quite yet. And now it's coming back to you. It reminds me of when I feel rich because the government gives me money for my taxes back because I paid too much. Well, it's still my money, but it feels good to get it back. Okay. Something like that for a lot of Taurus people. Now, the other money story, which is a 12-year rare story, is Jupiter. Jupiter will go into one of your money houses on October the 30th and be there all the way through November, actually until December 20th. And that's your 11th house. Now, 11th house is just a very good house of good spirit, good luck house. And Jupiter is in his joy here. And it can bring you some financial prosperity through bank loans, mortgages, inheritances, grants, tax rebates, because it's angular to the 8th, your spouse's money, your business partnerships, and finally, even a lucky break, like a windfall, like, I don't know, whatever windfall you want. He's looking at the gaming and gambling house of the 5th. So who knows? Now, he doesn't go very far back into your 11th because he is retrograding only to the 28th degree before he turns direct on November 23rd. Now, November is a month in which we have a Mars going retrograde, a Jupiter still retrograde till the 23rd. And then you have Neptune and Uranus retrograde all through the month. There's a bit of sense here of drag, of things that are moving forward, but not at like high speed pace. Okay. And certainly when it comes to this part of the sky, Pluto is also participating with Jupiter. Pluto is wealth. Pluto is power. Pluto's in your house of courts and legal affairs. If money should be coming to you because of legal negotiations, battles, contracts, or agreements, Jupiter is in a sextile to Jupiter, especially on the November 23rd to December 20th window when he's moving forward. So Jupiter is sextiling Pluto in a legal house. Now, this could really break through financially because Pluto is also in a sextile to all the planets in your seventh house of legal contracts, business dealings, negotiations, vows, and oaths, like where you sign on dotted lines. That's really good because there's a pile up of Sun, Mercury, and Venus in that part of your sky until the middle of November. So there's just kind of a sense that around the turning point, when Jupiter will go direct on the 23rd, there's a solvency here. There's a momentum financially, and there's even some financial luck. Finally, Jupiter in the 11th can be assistance from people in power or high places. All right. So friends as allies, or friends of friends as benefactors. Fairy godmother, fairy godfather vibe with Jupiter up here. What kind of like patron of your endeavors is going to come in to want to support you here? This could be very much something like that in the finance area. Lastly, you could expand your social networks, your friendships, your groups of belonging. You could join a new church, an ashram, get down with those sorts of things when Jupiter back ends into your 11th house, right? During this window of October the 28th to December 20th. It's house of the eldest sibling. If you have an eldest and you're not the oldest in the family, this eldest sibling can also be of great benefit to you as a Taurus in some way, especially if that's your rising sign. I would also add the last thing about Jupiter in your 11th house is that he can expand your visions for your life, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, what is you think you really want, what do you, if you could, wish upon a star. Jupiter is like your wish fulfillment god here, but he helps you expand the wish so you don't think so small, go big or go home. That's what Jupiter is trying to do with your dreams and goals and visions that you could have as your future orientation towards your life. Now, I want to talk now a little bit about the minutiae of the month. And, this video might be a little longer than most because you have so much going on because of those eclipses. But let's also talk about Venus. Venus is the Lord of you. She's really active in this month, doing some interesting shenanigans for good in your behalf. First of all, Venus, the Lord of your sign, is going to be moving in a place of difficulty for her, Scorpio, until November 15th. It's your 7th house. This is where legal negotiations, contracts, business partnerships, and primary love relationships feel challenging right now. Like you may be stepping up to the challenge, but it may not feel easy. And she was a part of an eclipse on October 25th. They could give you some warnings about dealings in business or love with women who may not be what you see is what you get. Scorpio, secrets, things that are hidden from view. If you're going to sign anything legal with a female, you need to get two lawyers on it, and you need to get like almost like a background check here of some sort, so just keep that in mind. Now, it's like a corrupted Venus data file. But then after November the 15th, on the 16th, she's going to move into Sagittarius. Yeah, your bank loans, mortgages, agreements financially, investment monies, a real wealth building place. Venus is a money goddess. She's fine in Sag, and she's going to move in there and love you up. And she'll be there until December 9th. Now, this is where there's a real turning point, right? November 16th. And we want to add to that, remember that I told Jupiter goes direct and helps you as well, November 23rd. As the month progresses, your finances get better. But there's also another cool thing happening. Venus will participate in a new moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd, the day Jupiter, the Lord of that moon, goes direct. This is one of the most blessed zones of your sky, if you are a Taurus rising especially, because this is all of a sudden a new beginning, a fresh start, a glorious good beginning with a Venus conjunct a new moon. Mercury is there by then as well. Good news financially, but markets, mercantile, deals, negotiations, contracts, loans, mortgages, bank loans. Did I say that? Home equity loans, credit card debt, whatever, all good stuff in that money house for you. And it is about bequeathments, and not necessarily this will happen, but with Jupiter and Pisces in your 11th going direct and all this goodness of a new moon in Sag, it's possible that over the 6 months that follow, because the new moon has a 6-month orb of flow till the next full moon there, that you might come into some money from some inheritance. I'm got to tell you, it's possible somebody could pass. And I don't want to make it a scary story, but the moon, which is mother energy, will be traveling in such a way. Well, I'm not going to go into that story. I don't know where the money comes from some of you, but you could come into some money. It's not about a mother per se. It's about the nurture and energy of the universe bestowing you with what you need in order to be successful. Now, Mercury, who always stays close to Venus and the sun, they're always kind of close, like a triad of planets near each other. Mercury will be in Scorpio. That's your 7th house of deals, negotiations, the art of the deal, agreements, and signing on dotted legal lines until November 16th. I don't really prefer that because of Venus there until November 17th, 16th as well. You know what I'm saying? Jelly bean. But if you have to sign something, get a lot of eyes on it first. Okay. Mercury here can also help reveal things that are hidden from view about marriage partners, business partners, love partners, etc., and fine tune your sleuthing about background checks. Now, then on November on the 17th, he goes into Sag, right, to join in with Venus and this new moon on the 23rd, where, as I said, Mercury and Sag in your 8th house is really good for your finances, really picking up your pace around marketing and selling merchandise, stocks, investments, loans, mortgage, and negotiations on your behalf. Now, yeah, Mercury is not in his best form in Sagittarius. Really, I'm not that worried about it with Venus there as well as a benefic planet. I think it's going to look and feel good on you financially. But of course, I'll tell you one thing, Mercury doesn't look at the details when he's in Sagittarius. It's opposite of his Gemini home. So you have to be very cautious here that you get someone who looks at the fine print, someone who knows how to read those deals, that mortgage agreement, whatever, make sure the interest rate isn't going to jack up by 5 points in a year. Check that detail. You don't have the command. Somebody else has to do that for you. The window of that time is roughly November 16th, 17th to December 6th to 9th, where a lot of money is happening. A lot of good money stuff is picking up for you guys, you Taurus folk. We're going to move into the Mars story right now, Mars retrograding. I touched on it earlier. I do think he helped you consolidate debt, remove debt, change your outflow and make money inflow. And that retrogradation serves you during the month of October. There's no two ways about it. It's a slowing down of spending and a beginning of intake of more money than you have had for a while. And finally, and the uptake of spending would have been August 20th, right, to October 30th. Then Jupiter, of course, I mentioned sliding like fairy godfather into your 11th. I don't have much more to say about that, but I would add to the narrative something else about Jupiter and Venus. Since Venus is the lord of your sign, benefic planet, fairy godmother, especially if you're born at night, working on your behalf, she's going to do some serious sky love for you this month. Now, I'm going to go through some of those Venus stories. I'm going to start with something challenging and then move into the positive because it's in chronological order. So the 5th to the 7th of November, Venus will be in opposition to Uranus. That is where there's shock and awe developments just before the eclipse, even regarding secrets, misinformation, misrepresentation, manipulation by either a significant love partner, usually someone you're committed to, living with or married, 7th house, not in the dating phase, usually, or from a business partner who's a female, or around money negotiations and hidden things that are disclosed to you that maybe rock your world. Little of the tower and the tarot, boom, Sorry, but it's true. And so there's that November 5th to 7th, but she's got silver lining, so hang in there. Nonetheless, right? Then she will try Neptune while sextiling Pluto November 10th to the 13th, and give that like November 7th to the 15th, really a larger orb, November 7th after the eclipse, but it heats up around the 10th and the 13th. Those are important dates. Now, Venus is still in Scorpio, but she will trine Neptune, a planet of higher imagination and vision, who's hanging with Jupiter in your 11th. Now, this is where those friends in high places and financial favors or even money luck can really start to flow for you. And the sextile to Pluto is a wealth yoga, bringing in greater power and wealth potential. Later then, she will trine Jupiter around the 14th and 15th. And that is a once in every 12-year event regarding positive, dreamy, enchanted. Rainbows and unicorns are regarding significant love relationships that are committed, business partnerships, a dream business partner, financial flow and luck in legal agreements and contracts, a sense of expansion, relief, and wonder can all emerge there. Now, some of it may happen because it might be about the person you're with. Venus here, it could be a love relationship, the other person having this beautiful thing happen, and you're there receiving collateral benefits. Especially if you're committed, then your partner gets rich, you get rich too, for example. So it may not just be you. And then also the sun trines Neptune around the same time, the 14th and 15th from the Scorpio 7th house, because the sun and Venus are traveling beside each other. So between that sort of sun and Venus loving up that Jupiter, there's a lot of goodness. But I'm going to give you a caveat, because the sun can bring powerful purpose, new people of great goodness for your finances into your life, or a new relationship. If you're single, Taurus, it can light up your life, be very dreamy, enchanted, and soulmatey if you're single around the 14th and 15th. But there's a bit of an interesting condition. Venus is invisible until around the first few days of December, because we can't see her yet. She's behind the beams of the sun, getting ready to become an evening star, visible in the evening sky. You may not see the full deliciousness of what's going on the 14th and 15th until Venus becomes visible in early December. Some gnarly sky tension at the end of the month too, November 16th to the 22nd, near the end, midway, I guess. Mars will square Neptune. He's retrograding. Neptune is retrograding. This is a 3-part story. It's a longer narrative. Watch my all signs videos when I do individual transits. This one will have its own coverage, but it's a time of like putting the defogger on your windshield so you can drive clearly ahead. And that's what Mars does. He defogs the Neptune delusion. And this is money illusion, money delusion, money manipulation, money misperception, money fantasy. All of a sudden, there's some real sort of clearing of your vision where the fog is lifting about your financial stuff, or about friends and allies who may not be your friends and allies, and getting a sense of it's time to let those people snip, snip, cut, go. And that's November 16th to the 22nd. You already had suspicions about these things because it's a retrograde. Venus will conjunct Mercury on November 19th to the 23rd. She's your Lord. She's on down and on with the Mercury conjunction in Sagittarius. While Venus is a money goddess and she's in a money house, Mercury is a mercantile, merchandising, selling. Now, for some of you, you could sell a property. You could sell real estate here. This is often what happens in the 8th house. It trines your 4th house of homeland and real estate. And that real estate house is a part of the eclipse cycle where it's getting squared. So no doubt about it, for some of you, there's a sale or letting go of a home or property or real estate that could be really in picking up, or a business partner coming in to buy and sell real estate with you or something like that. Or finally taking some really big gains in your investment portfolios that apply to maybe real estate, or just feeling good about it. And that is going to occur, as I mentioned, between the 19th and 23rd. Last but not least, November the 26th through to the end of the month, Mars will be in a trine to Saturn, helping you realize your financial dreams, clear up your reputation, bring your purpose and ambition and career goals down to financial earth, allowing you to restore a sense of stability and a real grounded quality in your money and your career and reputation areas of your sky, and reminding you that Saturn is direct and finishes up kind of that heavy energy in your reputation and career house next March. So this direct motion Saturn in this time frame with Mars is really good for you. So this is like you're getting over a finish line of financial hurdles and work and career reputation stuff at last. And reminding, if you're a student, you could be at the finish line of finishing your studies, or you get greater financing for your studies or your ambitions. I'm making stuff up because not everyone has a career. All right, I'm done. I hope that was useful, Taurus. And please like my channel and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I didn't say in the beginning, check my description box. I have all kinds of readings, specials. Sign up for my newsletter. You get a 30% discount for a private Zoom call with me. And, I'm teaching all kinds of cool courses, including the Divine Timing Masterclass in 23. If you're an intermediate astrologer, this is the class for you. Okay. Learn a lot of cool techniques you don't even know because they're ancient. And you get that onto the wait list for that by checking my description box. All right. Thanks, Taurus. It was a lot of fun hanging with you in virtual time. If you're watching live, oh no, I don't premiere these ones. Ciao, guys.